Planet Coaster 2's water is stunning, and if you want to build some really cool underwater experiences, you can put your paths in a pool and then have an underwater aquarium experience like this one. The facility looks really nice in the daytime and beautiful at night as well, with backlighting and awesome fish animatronics to really bring it alive. So why don't you join me on this little guided tour? I'm going to take us through how we build it, and I'll give you some tips and tricks so you can replicate it yourself. I hope you enjoy. G'day everyone, it's Daggy here, hope you're doing really well. This is my little aquarium build. I'm really proud of this one. It's come together really nice, and using probably just about every other tutorial I've done in one sort of build here. And you can see here we've got the shark encounter and the coral reef to the left. And the other option is to come up onto the observation deck too. So we've got these beautiful shaded areas, and a bit of an area here too for the shark display and feeding time. And by the way, this is a really cool technique, just painting the asphalt rather than trying to place objects. So you do that by manipulating the path, and you get this really nice painted effect. Maybe that's handy for building parks and car parks and things. But yeah, here's a little spot where you can observe. Obviously no entry, but you can get in there and swim around with the sharks. Here's one now as he goes by, and another one there coming out as well. So yeah, we'll get a look at the fish as well and how we built them in a minute. But let's come up here. So one of the cool features from the last video I did was low overlapping paths, and the pools and the path trick is being used right here. So yeah, this is why I love finding these hacks, because it just creates so much opportunity for, I guess, yeah, a bit more creativity. And down here is my fish animatronics, and you can see the sharks, they're all moving around at a nice slow pace, just as you sort of expect them, seeing them gliding over, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure what type of shark you would have in a tank like this. I sort of modeled it off I think a great white shark, which yeah, kind of looks like, but probably more likely to have a nurse shark in something like this facility. Yeah, this carries on through, and you can go down here and down the steps, but yeah, another view here as the shark sort of swings by, and behind the tunnel there is, I guess, another area where the sharks can go in and yeah, have some more quiet time away from people. But if we come back, and I'll just show you, got the little board here saying, yeah, shark feeding and guided tours, nice little touch. We'll go down the stairs and have a look at the options. So we've got the aquarium tunnel down this way, and yeah, we've got the tropical reef and the sharks to the left. And so I really kind of wanted this to look a bit like, you know, industrial. You know, they built this big chunky aquarium building and then yeah, created some passageways. But we'll go have a look at the tropical reef first. So come through here. Now this is a little gateway into the pool, and so once you get through it, yeah, I've sort of designed it in a way so you can't, it's black because you have to go through the wall, and that's probably the only bummer about this sort of experience. But here's the reef, and a little fish swimming around. I've got a whole school of fish there, yeah, bobbing about, which look really cool. And then those little parrotfish, which are sort of munching on the weeds. That's just those balloons sort of angled down. It kind of looks like them eating, so I thought that worked well. You got your bubbles just to add a bit of interest. And the nice thing about this effect is that because we're in the pool, I've put some glass there. You get this lovely caustics happening on the rocks. And yeah, using the pool, or the water shapes rather, didn't really do that as well. So that's the little aquarium, and you can come through here and come back out. So that's back up there, or we can come through into the shark area. So yeah, we've got some guests here. And this is what's cool, is that the path is actually fully functional and our guests can walk along it. So yeah, we've got little fish hiding out there and lots of little things to see as we go down. Some more fish just hanging about. I think this little model came out quite nicely. It's just made up of lots of little pieces. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Yeah, more reef here. And then coming around this side, you can see the reef from a whole different angle. And yeah, that little starfish, I think, say the lights turned upside down. So that worked well too. And of course, the star of the show, here he comes, Mr. Shark, as he just sort of glides on by. That's certainly my experience, and having the water above gives a really nice look. Yeah, he's a little bit blocky, but that's the best I could do with heart shapes. A nice, shark model would be cool, but I think it gives it the overall experience quite well. Yeah, so that's the Sharky. he'll go into that hole and come out the other end. And then down here, just some wear and tear, you know, on the concrete, and yeah, a little plaque just talking about how much water and species there are in the aquarium. Nice little detail, I guess. And yeah, if you look through here, you can see some, yeah, more fish bobbing about. And so there's 2 sharks, and they're traveling around, and I think that just adds, yeah, a little bit of interest. And they're on a different sort of timer using a ride underneath to control their movement. So there you have the aquarium facility. I think it's turned out really nicely. And if we come in close here and have a look at these fish, just the sense of movement that you get on the reef adds so much to the immersion, and that's what it's all about, creating a more realistic environment just by having motion. And I think that's one of the best things added to the game is the motion panels. We can create these fish animatronics, and yeah, just adds so much. Behind the scenes, we've got a little aquarium here where they hang out and turn around, a bit more shaded. If we come under here, yeah, got more fish. Here comes the shark. They come through here and go around and come back out. So that all worked really well. And I think what you'll find is the FD Vision is an excellent ride for attaching sharks to, because it moves really, really slowly and it's consistent. So yeah, that was a better alternative than trying to rig up different motion panels. And I've just got a very subtle animation on his tail with some stacked rotators, and that just fires off every few seconds just to give him a little bit of motion. But it worked out really nicely. The shark itself and is quite blobby, but under the water you don't see a lot of that, so it works out okay. It's the best I could do, as I said, with art shapes. I think a real model would be obviously preferred, but hey, you gotta live with what you've got. And for the overall effect, once he's under the water, yeah, you don't really notice it too badly. So I thought we'll do a bit of a deconstruction now and explain how we built this. Righto, let's have a look at the lighting, and this is an important part to understand. When you change the lighting, you get all these beautiful different caustics. And what was important for me is at nighttime, the glow from the pool lights would be controllable. And so I figured out a way to create pools that don't have lights on the edge of the pool. And I'll show you how that works. But yeah, have a look at this at night. It just, yeah, it looks really nice. The ominous shadow of the shark swimming by. Even though he's blobby, the shape was about right. So yeah, taking the time to get models correct makes a big difference. And the reef itself just looks beautiful, yeah, under that sort of hazy light. So yeah, nighttime mode, really cool. Let's have a look at how the pools actually are built. So I'll jump back into daytime here, going the long way around. And if we have a look at a standard pool, here's a standard pool, and you've got these lights that get placed automatically when you drop the pool in. There's no way to control that, so even deleting this, they'll shift about. So they're I guess procedurally driven and made. So I needed to create a pool that doesn't have lights. So over here is a template that we've created that basically does that. So how did I achieve that? So pools, like paths, are made up of meshes, and I've got this very thin wedge of a mesh basically set at the shallow height. So if I was to take just that out like that and copy it, you can see it's a very fine wedge of pool, and it's set at shallow. And then when it connects to deep, like in here, yeah, and I've got one on both edges on the corner there, then it creates a very steep wall from deep to shallow. And the side effect of that is no light is generated on that slope. And it's so steep because I'm only using 0.25 centimeters, no, 25 centimeters. The difference between the depth to the shallow is 25 centimeters, and that creates enough of a slope that it looks like a regular pool. One of the side benefits of that is we can tile the sides differently to the base. So if I come in here with the brush and let's say paint that like that, and then want to paint the bottom separately, we can do that now as well. So it's a cool little trick. And yeah, you create similar effects for the corners to make sure it carries through. And yeah, you can then use these pieces together to build any sort of shape pool you want that doesn't have lights. Now, it's a step that some people probably don't think is necessary. For me, it was important because I didn't want to see lights glaring through my aquarium that I hadn't placed. So, cool little trick and something you might be able to use. And you can see here people are diving in and out, even though there's this very thin edge. They're jumping in, no problem. They basically just ignore it. So it's a perfectly legitimate technique, having this lightless edged pool. And so yeah, no problem at all. Well, it's shark feeding time, 10:30 AM, and what better way to attract sharks than to put a bit of blood in the water. And this is using the, I think it's the glowing dirt, yeah, set to red. And it creates a really convincing blood, not exactly the nicest thing. And put a little fish on the side here. The goal will be, obviously, feeding the sharks, and that's something that I'll work on next. But it made me think of the kind of silly fun things that Boogle does. If you haven't seen his channel, you got to check out Boogle. He's just done an awesome Subnautica video, and his previous one on Mousetrap, hilarious. If you want some lighthearted fun, but some pretty impressive builds as well. Go check him out. But Boogle, in your honor, I'm going to grab some swimmers here. I'm going to throw them in the pool with the sharks. Not these little kids, they look too nice. How about this punk? Yeah, in you go, bud. And yeah, it's pretty funny because you've got this sort of aquarium that is actually fully swimmable. Look out, dude, he's swimming away. Yeah. You can see that because the pool is fully working, yeah, they'll go in and out just like anyone else. And yeah, it creates for some pretty funny scenarios. So even if you want to be really evil and get people with their clothes and throw them in, you can do that too. And yeah, let's grab some more. I'll make a beeline for the exit. The pool's actually shut, so yeah. But it creates some really funny scenes if you want to do that sort of thing and make your own little stories. Yeah, out they go. Thanks, Boogle, for all your fun videos. Really enjoy them. Righto, back to the serious stuff. Here's how we actually create the pool tunnel, and many variants of this, but it's basically using the overlapping technique, which I explained in my previous video. Definitely check that out because there's lots of cool tips, including invisible paths and aquarium building and all that sort of thing. But you take the pool, so this pool, and you move it to the path, right? And then we're going to go up just below the path and place it. Now that's going to rub out the path, so we can undo it. Then we're going to come back in, select the path, hit X for advanced smooth, then redo it, then click, and then undo it, and that path will be placed inside the pool. And then you can take whatever scenery you like. This canopy here worked really well for an underwater tunnel, and yeah, you can wall it out and whatever else you want to do. But yeah, that did the trick. It was really that simple, and a great effect for underwater pathways. So yeah, go your heart out and make some cool underwater paths. Okay, well, last but not least is the fish animatronics and the shark animatronic. They all work on the same basis. There's a bunch of motors hidden in the ground, and they're rotating and controlling bits and pieces of the fish. So I've covered this in my koi pond, which is a freshwater variant, and this time I've created a whole lot of variety by really duplicating the volume of fish, changing some of the layout. So this guy's got bigger lips, he looks cool with his gills, and he's moving a little bit more. He's actually on a ride. But just the actual fish themselves are made up of little tiny support pieces. So there's no mods here. It's all legit vanilla game, which is something I try to stick to. Not that I've got anything against mods, but it's just yeah, try to keep it straightforward. And then we've got these parrotfish down here. They're just those balloon pieces which are bobbing about in the air, but angle them down and they look like they're yeah, feeding on the grass. So if I take out this little cluster, and I'll show you the mess that's below. It's basically a heap of motors that are all rotating and attached to each other. So you've got these motors going around on top of each other, and then these ones going around as well. That creates a forward, backwards, upward motion. And yeah, then these pieces are just controlling the various oscillations back and forth. So for the body, the midsection, and the tail. And then these two red ones on the top are the fins. So it looks more complicated than it is because you create one and then you just duplicate it over and over again. And yeah, there's a sequencer for each of these hidden in the bushes over there. But it creates a very compelling effect for a school of fish, I think, swimming against the current. So yeah, that's how you'll make the fish. If you want to download my koi fish and play with that, you can. It's exactly the same. And yeah, you can change the colors of all the pieces and yeah, change the shape a little bit to create variety. And that's kind of what I did with the shark. So the shark's the same, yeah, but using much bigger art pieces. And yeah, so if you have a look at this guy, same deal. If I bring him up, yeah, series of motors, but he's rotating on a central one rather than bobbing up and down. Well, hopefully that was useful and interesting, and gives you some excitement to try different things in this game. That's what I'm all about. And yeah, if you liked it, please consider subscribing. If you're not subscribed yet, it really helps me out and the algorithm. I'm still relatively small, even though I've had a really great start to this YouTube thing. And yeah, all your likes and comments really support and help me as well. So hopefully that was good. And yeah, I can't really share this as a blueprint, unfortunately, because it's too big and complicated. And when you save the park, some of these animations need to be reset. But you can get the fish, and I'll have a look at what I can do for the shark and other pieces in the coming weeks. So yeah, thanks again for all your support. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. What would you do differently? How would you take these techniques and maybe make them your own? Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Cheers, everyone. Bye.